Now at 10, more details from a case that is captivating the nation. What recently released court documents are saying about the Camas mother charged with murder. Plus, both the defense and state resting in the Lori Vallow Daybell trial. Why this case is coming to a close sooner than expected. And a moving tribute to an Asian American activist from his partner at the Chinatown supermarket in Salt Lake City. The significance of their work and his connection to the state.
Live from Utah's first TV station, ABC4 News celebrates 75 years.
Welcome to ABC4 News at 10. I'm Glenn Mills.
And I'm Emily Flores. We thank you for joining us. We do begin tonight with an update on the story of a local children's book author being charged with murder.
According to recently released court documents, Kouri Richins attempted to poison her husband Eric twice before he died from a third attempt. Now, a search warrant quoting Eric Richins' sister saying the couple was in Greece a few years ago and Eric fell violently ill. He called his sister saying he suspected Kouri tried to poison him. The same warrant also saying on Valentine's Day of last year, Kouri allegedly served her husband a sandwich and he immediately broke out in hives and couldn't breathe. Then, on March 3rd of last year, documents say he was given a lethal dose of fentanyl in a drink.
Now, Kouri was on ABC4's Good Things Utah show promoting her children's book about dealing with grief following her husband's death.
She released her book, Are You With Me?, detailing ways to guide a child through dealing with the loss of a loved one and discuss the emotion behind that project.
My husband passed away unexpectedly last year, so it's March 4th was a one-year anniversary for us, and he was 39. It completely took us all by shock.
Camas' mom being held in the Summit County Jail without bail. She's expected in court in 10 days.
So tonight, Eric's will providing some insight on the situation leading up to his death.
ABC4 reporter Elena Castro joining us live in studio with a deeper dive on what that is telling us. Elena.
The reason for this alleged murder has yet to be revealed, and we may never know. But court documents are painting a picture that money could have been a motivator.
According to docs, the couple had signed a prenup which guaranteed Kouri $2 million. But now, due to Utah's Slayer statute, Kouri's payout is still unknown. We spoke to Brandon Merrill, the director and founder of the Utah Homicide Survivors, on how this statute will play a role in this case.
What the Slayer rule does is it prevents killers from profiting from the murder of the person that they have killed. So if they are an heir, whether it's through a will or through the law, they would be disinherited.
Court documents also disclosed that Eric Richins had taken his wife Kouri out of his will without her knowing, and that she had tried to change his life insurance policy to be the sole beneficiary, but she was unsuccessful.
In this new Slayer statute that was just recently passed, it gives the court the power to go back in time from the moment of the death to freeze all the killer's assets and the estate's assets, so that way, if anything was wrongfully given away, they can grab it back to being able to make sure it goes to the right people.
Merrill says this is exactly the type of case that this law was written for. After Eric's death, Kouri went on to pen a children's book about how to cope with grief and loss. The book was available on Amazon, but has since been taken down. Kouri had come to Good Things Utah to promote the book, but as of now, there's no way to tell how much revenue she made from the sale.
The profits from that book, in my opinion, fit within the Slayer statute of profiting from murder, because she wrote that in the perspective of her children grieving as a result of this death.
Eric had listed his sister as the personal representative of his trust, which he signed into effect back in 2020. Kouri petitioned to get his sister removed just back in February and filed a claim for over $3 million. Lots to unpack here, but we will keep you updated here on air and online at abc4.com. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Elena. Well, this evening, flames finally under control in St. George after a fire spread through 40 acres of land this afternoon. At one point, the fire was threatening more than 100 buildings, forcing police to issue evacuations. But that order tonight has since lifted. The high heat down south could be a cause for concern as we're heading into even warmer days.
Turning now to a first look at the weather forecast. And even though we've come off this winter where our guard may be down, this just shows us Fire danger still out there.
Yes, it is. Alana.
And fire season underway. It feels like we just wrapped winter. We were dealing with snow in the mountains, but yes, we were dealing with a wildfire down there in southern Utah. We did get some great video from viewers who were watching. This was from downtown St. George. You can see that plume of smoke that came through. Now, when the fire broke out, temperatures were in the low 80s, and that's where St. George topped out. Tonight, cooler conditions, 50s out there, 74 in Washington County, and we've got the 50s and 60s, 63 in Ogden, just shy of 60 in Salt Lake. And the cloud cover on the move tonight, you probably noticed it this evening. Great shot from the Promontory Peninsula. Thanks to Keith Thought for sending it our way. And you can see the clouds that have moved in. Amazing shot there. The clouds indicating change because we get our next system that's on the way. That deck of clouds really encompassing the Wasatch Front, the West Desert, and this area of low pressure is what's going to trigger those storms as we head into the midweek. So yes, a lot going on for our Wednesday. Cloud cover in Cache Valley and for the central and southern portion of the state. Our thunderstorm threat becomes pretty widespread, including along the Wasatch Front for tomorrow. We're going to look at the timing of those storms and what to expect for the remainder of your work week coming up in my full forecast. Glenn, Emily, over to you.
All right, Alana, thank you. Well, the Great Salt Lake now more than 4 feet higher from when it hit record lows last year, and it's reaching another milestone in its recovery. Governor Cox issuing an executive order to raise the berm along the Union Pacific Causeway at the beginning of the year by 5 feet. This temporarily cutting off the north and south arms of the lake from one another. In the video, you can tell which side is by which side, the green being the south and pink being the north. This was done to help increase water levels and decrease salinity levels in the south arm of the lake and to protect wildlife and industry that rely on the lake. Well, now water is spilling over the berm into the north arm.
This isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. This is one tool that we had that was immediately available to us to help to modify that salinity.
Ben Starman from the Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands says this is something to celebrate, but adds that the state is working on other projects that aim to improve and protect the lake.
Both the prosecution and the defense resting their case in the murder trial for Lori Vallow Daybell.
Yeah, the Idaho mom is accused of murdering her 2 children and planning the killing of her husband's late wife. The state called more than 60 witnesses detailing years of police reporting, personal connections to the family, and text and audio evidence, all of which prosecutors say proves Lori's involvement in the killings. Just hours later, the defense said they too will rest their case with a very simple claim.
We don't believe the state has proved its case, so the defense will rest.
A local criminal defense attorney weighing in on what this can mean for the jury.
There's a lot of questions that would be asked that were maybe painful and not help the defense's case. But when you don't testify, a jury is going to speculate.
Closing arguments begin tomorrow. The judge has ordered the eventual verdict will be live streamed from the courthouse.
UDOT warning trespassers to stay away from the West Davis Highway project, saying they could be ticketed and fined. The project director saying they've been seeing people on the construction site and vandalism, and it's causing delays. The crew asking for everyone to stay clear of the project. Don't use the trails or walkways until they're completed, and please do not drive on the embankments, fields, and roads before they're ready.
We've seen everything from snowmobiles in the wintertime to mountain bikes. We've actually seen kayaks on our ponds and areas of people out there paddling around in our detention areas. So we've seen about everything.
The project set to be complete in the spring of next year.
A moving tribute to Corky Lee, an Asian American activist and photographer, happening at the Chinatown Supermarket in Salt Lake City earlier today. The exhibit presented by the Chinese Railroad Workers Descendants Association and features photographer Karen Zhao's work in honor of her late partner. The art highlighting the Chinese Railroad workers who were crucial to Utah's history in building the Transcontinental Railroad. Karen spoke about her late partner, about how she found him so impressive.
I knew what he was doing was unique because no one was doing it.
When Lee passed from COVID in 2021, Zhao says the Asian American community in Utah reached out to her with the opportunity for this exhibition. You'll be able to enjoy the installation starting today through October.
Shred Day right around the corner. ABC4 partnering with the Better Business Bureau to bring you that free event. It's all happening this Saturday, May 13th, at the American Red Cross building in Salt Lake City from 9 a.m. to noon. So make sure to bring your documents that include your personal or sensitive information and get rid of them responsibly, all to help avoid identity theft. And while you're there, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Utah will be accepting clean, new, or gently used clothing.
Coming up, doctors are saying mammograms should be given at a younger age than previously thought. See what age doctors in Utah are recommending you should check for breast cancer. We'll have that story when we get back. Stay with us.